part of Silicon Valley. So San Jose, California, 14 cities surrounding us, the entire Santa Clara County area. We're governed by a board of directors of 7 elected officials who basically believe that we are direct staff to them. So it's very interesting how that works. And our board is charged with aggressively making sure that not only do they protect the groundwater aquifers, but we have 10 reservoirs, so we provide all the wholesale water supply. We're also responsible for flood protection within Santa Clara County, as well as environmental stewardship efforts. So we have a very broad sense of what we do. So yesterday, someone was talking about One Water. We consider ourselves to have a One Water program. The only thing we don't do is the sewer. So in order to start the story, so you can understand what happened. So it starts about in December of 2016. So it starts, in California, we were in a massive drought. We weren't seeing any rain. So in early December, we basically had a real warm December. I tell folks, I didn't even have to pull out my coat most of the times over the winter. So in that December, it starts to rain. It's a little bit cooler, but it starts to rain throughout December. So as we get towards the end of December, what we realize is that, wait, we're getting a lot of rain. It's raining every day in December. So December 2016, 2017, basically it was an extraordinary rain season. It was the atmospheric rivers back to back, basically. So you have these big atmospheric rivers that come and they just dump a lot of rain all at the same time. And so we're watching some of our reservoirs that are filling up. So basically, we have 8 of our 10 reservoirs, they start to spill. So they basically fill up completely and they start to spill over. So we're like, whoa, maybe we are clearly out of a drought. And it ended up being the second highest rainfall season that we have. I'm going to talk a little bit about Anderson Dam. Anderson Dam is a dam that basically started to spill, and it's also on top of basically earthquake fault. And so we are trying to, we were tasked with keeping that reservoir lower because of the fact that it's on top of an earthquake fault. We were trying to rebuild the dam because if you have, California has earthquakes. So if you have an earthquake on top of underneath that dam, you can have basically an unscheduled release of water. That's the way that we call it. So basically, the dam would collapse. So moving on to, just so you can understand, this is a picture of Anderson Dam. And what this labels is, you see the spillway, that's where when it starts to spill, that's where the water comes out of. You have the outlet pipe. And so Anderson Dam, it was built not for flood protection, but it was built for to hold water. So imagine a swimming pool with a straw at the bottom of it. If you want to release water out of that swimming pool, you do it with a straw. And that's what it looks like. So that's what Anderson's like. So we can't release the water fast enough. The dam crest is basically the top of the dam, and the dam embankment, that's what we're in the process of rebuilding. So as it's raining and this starts spilling, imagine living below that dam. You're one of the people that lives below the dam, and you're worried, wait, the dam is spilling, we could get an earthquake, and my entire community is going to be wiped out. But then the people that are below, that are even on Coyote Creek, where this is spilling into, they say, we're going to flood. We're going to see this happen. So, and the funny thing is, I live about 1.5 miles, not even that, from where the flood occurred. Behind my house is basically Coyote Creek. I live on Coyote Creek. So I was watching Coyote Creek. I was there in 1997 when it flooded and when the Anderson Dam was spilled over. And I was like, this is strange. This really reminds me of what I saw before. People said, Rick, are you sure? There's not a lot of people that were there as long as me. I said, you know what? This situation looks exactly the same as what I remembered. So then all of a sudden I hear news. I'm watching the data for Anderson Reservoir, and it says, and this is on February 17th. The data says, Anderson Dam is starting to spill over. So I drive out to Morgan Hill. It's about a 30-minute drive. I get up there, and this is what I see. This is the spillway. This is the water. But it's going slow.
Keep in mind, this is just when it buried at the very beginning.
It's hardly any water at all. So the water, so the atmospheric rivers over us is dumping water, and the spillway is just going. So I say, I don't think this is a good thing. But the water levels in the creek are high. I'm monitoring because I live out there. That's not my job. I'm the government repairs guy. I just live in the community. This is what it looks like to the community below when it really starts moving. You see those homes? Those are the people that are worried about what happens if there's an earthquake when Anderson Dam is full. So this is what it looks like. I think, Rachel, you have some data that you want to
Yeah, so you saw the video where it just started to spill. And when by the way, side note on dams, they're designed to do that. When the reservoir gets up to the very top, they start going over the spillway and to release water in a controlled fashion, so it's not coming over the face of the dam or anything like that. So it was operating and functioning as it was designed to do. That's an important point. So this picture was taken, however, I think right before things shit really started to hit the fan, basically. There was enough water going over the spillway. It was 7,100 cubic feet per second. To give you guys a little bit sense of how much water that is, it's equivalent to more than 150 Honda Accords full of water going over the dam every second. So it's a lot of water.
So on February 21st, I wake up to go to work. It's basically after presidential the weekend, and I'm like, this doesn't look good. The rain hasn't stopped. I live on Callender Creek, and I can hear the helicopters like boom, 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 boom. I'm like, is the police over my house? So as I get out, I get in my car, I'm driving to work, I look, and I see a CAL FIRE helicopter. I'm like, why is CAL FIRE in the neighborhood? I just keep driving to work. I'm like, okay, CAL FIRE is in the neighborhood. Why is CAL FIRE here? What are they doing here? So then I turn on the radio, and the news announcer is talking about that CAL FIRE is in the neighborhood, and they're rescuing folks that were homeless that were living on the golf course. So I'm like, okay, so the golf course is behind my house. I said, so the golf course is, the golf course is designed to flood. So I keep driving to work, and I'm thinking, okay, we should get down to the Rock Springs area and to see what's going on. As soon as I get to work, Rachel's office is next to mine. I hear Rock Springs is flooded. I said, wait, Rock Springs is flooding? So Rock Springs is a mile from my house. I said, Rachel, let's get in the car. Let's get down there. So we're one of the first people on the scene, besides the firefighters. We beat the news there. These are pictures that we take. Like literally, this is off my cell phone. This is the Rock Springs area. The firefighters are rescuing people. They're taking people out of the house. It's a horrible smell. The sewers. So when it floods, it's such a sickening sight, sickening smell that's there. Everything's just bad. They're rescuing folks out of the area, the homes, everything's in the water. These people's homes are ruined. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, man, we didn't get, it's not our responsibility to get folks out in time. It's our responsibility to make sure that we tell the city, hey, are you paying attention to this? It looks like it's going to flood. And so, I'm contacting the EOC. I'm saying, did we let the city know what was going on? Did we tell them? And so my staff, who was in the EOC, was working as a PIO, they said, yeah, Rick, we sent them the email and said, are you guys going to warn the people in the neighborhood of what's going on? So I looked and I said, okay, I think we've done our job. I think we have let folks know what was happening to them. And so these folks are, imagine, you get flooded, you're just angry, you're just mad. You don't care if you weren't warned, you're really mad. So this is the scene that we're looking at. After these things occur in a community, the first thing that happens is the blame game. That's the way that I call it, is the blame game. Rachel was the PIO. I appointed her as a PIO. I told you, you always approach your trusty hand to the hardest job. So I appoint her as the PIO. And the blame game starts with, you'll see Rachel on the scene. This is all going to come together and make sense about how this relates to advocacy. But Rachel, any thoughts on what you saw?
And I mentioned yesterday that I serve in so EOC is the Emergency Operations Center. For anybody in crisis communications, we probably spent a good amount of time there. Our EOC had been open for weeks prior to this because we were just watching these surfers pile up and Andersons get fuller and fuller. I can't underscore enough how important it is to vet information before you release it to anybody external to your agency. That was something that personally I didn't do with a couple of my emails, and those emails got handed over to the media. And then I just got skewered later that week when the blame game really kicked into high gear. So just a note for everybody serving as a PIO, making sure to always vet your information, especially with the folks that are in the EOC, so you have the most up-to-date information.
So I'm going to play a video here in a second so you can see what's going on. But you imagine that you become the front and the center of the news, the investigative news report. That's what happened here. The investigative news report, they come out and they said, we have an email here from Rachel Gibson saying how much capacity or how much water would the creek would carry. I'm like, how much water? This is not a pipe. This is a creek. This is a natural facility. But that's where it goes. So the blame game starts. It starts with the mayor saying they didn't tell us it was going to flood, and they said the creek could carry more. And then we said, wait, I pull out the emails from my staff. Like, we told them, you may want to warn the people. You may want to tell them to get out. So the fingers are pointing if you Google it. So literally, what you see on the tablet is what it looked like in terms of if you Google it. Everybody's pointing fingers everywhere, and all that's happening is the residents are getting in. They're flooded. They don't know where they're going to go. You have 14,000 people that are out of their homes. This is part of the strategy, the overall strategy. I said, because you can't continue to blame each other, because that means you're just fighting each other locally. So this goes back to, now this is a public affairs campaign model that we utilize. Now the Corps of Engineers strategy is going to make sense as I talk about it and how it works. So basically, this is the six-portion campaign public affairs strategy that we use. So looking at the first piece is issue identification and management. So